One two one two. Yo, this is Bboytech, and this is the Roland TR-08 review on Bboytech Report. The Rhythm Composer or the TR-08 is considerably smaller than the original 808. It's small. That's a part of the whole theme of the boutique series. It comes mounted on a stand. The stand has 3 positions, all the way up. This is the middle position, and it goes totally flat. Turn that back up. You unlatch it by hitting this little button here, and it comes open. It can be powered by 4 AA batteries. You have a built-in speaker. On the back, you have MIDI in and out, mix in, output, your headphones, your volume, your USB, and your off and on button. Now, these are all 1/8 inch connections. Now, what you see here is pretty similar to what the original looked like. They kept the color scheme. They have similar buttons and knobs and data wheels. And it has 11 instruments. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 instruments. 5 of those instruments are switchable. So these 5, it's low tom, or if you hit the switch, it's a low conga, mid tom, or mid conga, high tom or high conga. Then you have the rim shot or clav, maracas. So those 5 are switchable. There's 11 instrument tracks, but you have these 5 that can be one of 2 sounds. So it's really 16 sounds that it has, but you can't program all 16 sounds at once. It depends on where the switch is flipped. Typical criticism is how close these knobs are to one another. I have pretty big hands, right? You can get in there and tweak. It's not as tiny as I suspected it was, but it would be nice to have a little more room there. It doesn't, but still, you can still make it happen. So then all of these have their own level. You also have tone and tuning. So all the congas and toms have tuning. The bass drum and the snare drum has tone. So for the bass drum, you have decay and tone. On the snare drum, you have tone and snappy. You also have accent and a trigger out on the top here. The tempo can go from 40 BPMs all the way up to 300 BPMs. And let's check out some of these sounds here. All right, so that's the snare drum, and you can hear how snappy. You could take the snap down, or you can give it maximum snap. Like so. Or the tone, you can see how that changes here. And the way you select the instruments is with this wheel here. It's the instrument select wheel. So I'm selected on the snare drum right now. I'm going to go to the bass drum and add a few of those. Right? Easy to have 4 on the floor. Let's change that snare drum. Put those where they need to go. All right. So this is an easy way to kind of get to programming. That's a very typical old school beat. I'm gonna show you a little bit about the decay on the bass drum. So on the bass drum, you can see how that rides out, right? You got the level, the tone, right? So that's dope. Let's go into menu setup. So if you go to menu, there's a compressor here that you can turn the compressor up to get more punch, right? So that's only for the kick and the snare. So if you go to that menu setting, BD, bass drum, you can turn the decay to long decay so you can get that long rattle of a decay, or you can put it on short decay. So by going in there, you have long decay, normal. So if you do normal decay and turn the decay away, you can see what's going on right there. Now I'm gonna turn it to long decay. Alright, so we're gonna leave it on long decay because you can also, once you got it there, you can control what it is. And let's just kind of add some other things in here. And this is what I mean. You can't program the switchable instruments at the same time, but you can switch them. Right? So we'll leave them on the toms. And where's the hi-hat? Let's go into the hi-hat. So we're on. Closed hat. So the Roland TR-08, along with all the boutiques, besides the SEO2, are all digital machines that use Acb technology. And the Acb technology is analog circuit behavior technology, where they basically take all these analog vintage machines and they model the behavior through programming and through circuit behavior inside the machine. But it's not actually the discrete analog circuits that you would get in the classic versions of these, right? So that's what we have here, and I think it sounds pretty incredible, to tell the truth. I mean, one of the very cool things is that it has USB on the back, and if you're using it with your DAW, you can get 10 audio tracks out of the TR-08 into your DAW. Really dope. And you could tell I don't have power connected to it because it has 3 ways of power. You can get the power cord, you can power over USB with the USB cable connected to your computer, or your MPC or whatever it is. It's bus powered, and you have the 4 AAA batteries in there that you can power it with. So that's real dope in itself. Right? You got a lot of programming flexibility. I mean, I could go on all day and get into how to program this thing and how you have, your different breaks and fill-ins and triggers and your different patterns and stuff, but it's the typical programming that you would typically see. It has a trigger out so you can trigger things in your modular or whatever else you have that may have triggers. I think it sounds even more dope when it's run through some effects and some analog effects and a little warmth. But nonetheless, it's a dope piece. That 10 tracks audio out on the USB, dope. USB on here in general is dope just because it's an overall improvement from the classic, right? So USB is USB connectivity. It's you can send audio through it, and you can do MIDI over USB. But even with that, you still have your MIDI here. So to that note, I'm going to say I think the Roland TR-08 is better than I thought it would be. And so what's one of the benefits of having it is, yeah, you can get a lot of sample libraries and all this kind of stuff out there. But what's dope about this is that you get that immediate tweaking. There's some immediacy to being able to kind of do these things and get that immediate tweaking out of it. Right? Word. All right. And that is the Roland TR-08. For the electronic musician, I think this is a dope piece. I'm looking forward to checking out the 909 as well. But for those that have been looking for a classic TR-08, vintage prices are way cost prohibitive. This, on the other hand, is $349, and they're available pretty much everywhere. So if you kind of like that 808 sound, or you kind of going for that retro groove, check this out. This is dope. All right. So this is Bboytech Report signing off about the TR-08. Peace.